Good afternoon and welcome to the Garnet Fire Information Meeting for September 13th. My name is Nathan Judy, Information Officer for California Interagency Incident Management Team 5. I'll be facilitating tonight's meeting. Tonight you're going to hear from members of our Incident Command Team and Forest staff. After the formal presentation of the meeting, we'll go into questions that you submitted through email earlier today. I just want to give you an update on the fire. We're currently at 58,783 acres. 69% contained, with a 3,235 personnel assigned to the fire. I want to let you know about some events that happened this afternoon. We were able to take the media tour out to the giant sequoia grove. You'll be seeing some of those media interviews that they took out there on your local evening news, as well as your local NPR station. So keep a lookout for those. We're also going to be doing a video and producing that and posting it on our social media accounts, as well as IncyWeb and YouTube. So keep a lookout for those. Tonight, you're going to hear from Chad Acosta first, and then we'll go into the rest of our staff. Chad.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Just got in off the fire, and things continue to look really good. I'll stay to the south of the fire along the Kings River. We've had no growth for multiple days. Everything's looking really good. The fire's showing contained along the Kings. Where we go into the North Fork and up into Balch Camp is still showing containment. Everything's looking really good. Lots of cruiser in there today, basically backhauling, bringing out hose and pumps and trash and anything that we have along this line. We're getting it out of there. Also, our roads group has been established, so any roads that were damaged by fire personnel, they're working along these roads to get those cleaned up for you, to turn it back over to the forest at a later date. And they'll continue to work around the fire doing the roads repair. This piece coming up onto the ridge, this is a handline piece that I've been talking about for a few days. It hasn't moved. It's looking good, but it's going to take us a day or two more to contain this. We're using drones to fly it. It's a pretty dangerous piece for us to have firefighters in, so give us a little bit of time for that. As we get up onto the ridge and head towards Fence Meadow, this is all looking really good. Cruiser in there today pulling out hose, starting to get everything out of there, and I expect there to be some more containment along this portion of the west side of the fire in the next, either tomorrow or the next day, but definitely within the next 24 to 48 hours. Coming up into Bear Meadow, we have lots of crews in here today, and what we're trying to do is kind of fill in these gaps in here and to make sure that there's plenty of depth, so if anything heats up as the weather heats up over the next couple days, we don't get any spots. This is a high priority for us to keep this corner. As we come up back up onto the McKinley Grove Road, this is what our number one focus has been today in the last 24, 48 hours, is to introduce fire on the south side of McKinley Grove Road. What they've done is they started here to the east and started here on the west, and they're working towards each other, hotshot crews, introducing fire below the road. One thing I'll share for those of you that have driven this road, anytime you're going through S-turns, it's very challenging for us to fire those type of turns. And so that's why it's taken us, and we're being very strategic and going very slow through this section because it's so windy, and just sharing that for us, introducing fire into switchback roads, is we got to go slow, we got to be strategic, and we just got to be really smart about it, especially today where we're starting to get some heat up there. It's definitely warmer up there. I just got off the hill, wasn't wearing a jacket anymore, and we just got to be careful. So everything's looking really good. We haven't had any spots. I suspect they'll connect the dots up here tonight. Coming into the Grove, what we found today is we had an IR mission with a helicopter, and they found two spots out here, one about an acre and a half and one about a half acre. We got the hotshot crews and a bunch of hose in there. It's looking really good. We got around it, but I'll just share that we're going to be very diligent along this area for the next couple days with the heat. There could be some more spots out here from the original run that we just haven't seen because it's been so cold and cloudy up there. So we'll keep an eye on this, and I'm very confident with all the people we have up here. Anything else that pops up, we'll be able to get on it quickly with helicopters and ground troops. Coming all the way down the McKinley Grove Road looks really good. No changes. Expect to see some more containment. on the east side of the fire. One of the challenges we're having on the east side, besides the fact that it's steep country, is in order to see some of these areas, we really are using our drones to see the IR to make sure there's no heat along the line. Well, our drones have been heavily focused on the north side for obvious reasons. So that's slowing us up a little bit on containment out here, but we do have plenty of firefighters on the ground, and I'm highly confident we'll have no further spread on the east side of the fire. That brings us back to the south. And just so everybody knows, we are continuing our contingency missions out here to the west. Those continue to strengthen those lines just in case, but right now I'm feeling very confident on the fire. End of report.
Great, thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. Next up is going to be Kevin Montoya, our fire behavior analyst.
Good evening. I'm also going to be covering for the IMET tonight, the incident meteorologist. So we'll start out with a handy-dandy weather matrix and just kind of look at the weather trend. And so we're entering a warming trend, so those fall-like conditions that we've had for the past few days are going to start to go away. Temperatures are going to get all the way up into the 80s in Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And the big thing to notice is the relative humidity is trending down. And what that relative humidity trending down is going to do is going to drive our probabilities of ignition up. They've been about 40% today, and tomorrow they're going to climb up to about 70%, and the next day that's about 90%. So what does that mean? Well, probability of ignition is a term that we use to say, hey, how likely is it that we're going to get a spot outside the line, a new spot fire? And what it means is that if you threw 10 embers out into a dead grass field, 100% probability of ignition, 10 of them would start a new fire. So we've been at that 40% range, and we're going to get all the way up in next week, maybe into the 80 or 90% range. But can I get the map? But where the fire is still a little bit active, where those burn operations are going on up in the northern end, it's at a higher elevation. It's got a couple of things working in our favor. One, the smoke's really settling in that area, and it's shading it out and making cooler conditions, and so the fire's less active with that shade. And the other thing is the high elevation is getting really good high relative humidity at night. It allows us to hit something called moisture of extinction, or the point where relative humidity just gets so high that those pine needles just don't want to carry fire anymore because they're starting to get moist. And that's carrying over until about 10 a.m. And then we have a little bit of a burn window through the hotter part of the day. But for right now, with those heavier fuels along the burning operations, almost creating an ideal condition where we can address those heavy dead and down logs that will still burn when the relative humidity is high without that fear of it spreading from dead down log to the next down log. That's all for the fire behavior report. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Great information. Next up from the Fresno County Sheriff's Office, we have Lieutenant Hamilton.
Good evening. So we have had some changes to our evacuation map. Do we have that available? While they're getting that up, we have changed K32A and K28 to warnings. There'll be from red to yellow, and we've lifted all warnings and orders from K74, K85, K160, and K32B. So those are all going to be mainly on the southern end, south of the Kings River, and also to the east. So we're keeping a really close eye on the intersection at McKinley Grove Road and Dinky Creek Road. And there's a lot of activity there, and there's a lot of work going on in there, and there's still some fire in that area. So because of that, that point is the main access point to pretty much a lot of the areas in Wishon and Courtright. So because of all of that activity, it's just not safe right now to get anybody in. So we're keeping a close eye on that. We understand that people want to get back, check on their trailers, check on their property, and we want that to happen, but it needs to be safe to do so. So as soon as it's safe, we'll put that information out. Right now it's not. And that'll be put out on our social media pages and as well as Everbridge. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate that information. I'm sure folks are glad to get back in where they can. Next up, we're going to have your forest supervisor for the Sierra National Forest, Dean Gould.
All right, good evening, everybody, and thank you again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to share a few really good news stories with you that have been occurring here lately. Definitely a lot of really, really good trends. no doubt there's still a lot of hard work ahead of us, but for anyone to say that things aren't trending in a positive direction, they're just looking at the wrong incident. So as far as this incident goes, Ops gave a really good picture of the containment. But Nathan Judy also mentioned the percentages. I just want to circle back on that for a second. So just to be clear, 2 days ago it was at 17%. Then they added 20, bringing it up to 37%. Just added 32% more containment, bringing it up to 69%. That's in a 48-hour time frame. That's phenomenal. And that is really something to be proud of for all the firefighters that are out here, every single one of the 3,200 plus. So good job on them, to be sure, on all of your behalf. Had a media tour of the McKinley Grove today. That went really, really well. Well attended by a number of the media outlets, tribal representation, really good information sharing, and how refreshing it's going to be. We'll get a story out ourselves on it, to have the media independently go out there and get the facts and actually publish the truth of what's going on in the Grove and show just how much preparation, how much dedication, how much hard work went into preserving those groves. Frankly, some heroics. And so you're going to see all of that. And that gets back to the story that we posted last night on our Facebook about the groves. Over 1 million views on that so far, and 1,000 comments. That's phenomenal. That is, who could have ever thought? I certainly knew that there was global interest in the giant sequoias, but to get 1 million views literally in less than 24 hours, that just shows the thirst that folks had for accurate, positive, timely information. So we're going to keep doing that, and we see that there really is a need to provide some clarification as to what's really happened in the groves. A lot of information has been put out that simply isn't accurate. And so now I'm really delighted that we're able to openly share that information with the various media outlets, to do our own stories, have them do their own stories, and really show what's happening out there. So a lot of good news in that regard. And continuing on the trends, residences still 0 loss, 0 damage.
Thank you, Supervisor. Appreciate that. Next up is going to be from California Interagency Incident Management Team 5, Deputy Incident Commander Alex McBath.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to give you some numbers, some up-to-date numbers here. We have 58,905 as of this evening. 69% contained with 3,092 people on the fire. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're going to see over the next few days. Typically on a fire this big, it's a multifaceted resource response. So right now, as you heard operations, we're dealing with a lot of fire and still suppressing fire up in the northwest side of this fire. But on the south side, it's been contained. It's been contained for quite a few days, and we're going to start looking at suppression repair. So typically in the span of a fire, you have suppression, you stabilize the incident, then you go in and start looking at the repair, and we'll be doing that. So with that, our resource counts will be going up and down because we'll be demobbing some of the stuff that may not be needed because they've already completed the task that we brought them in to do. But we'll probably be ordering other type of equipment to do different types of tasks that takes different equipment. So be expecting that. I want to talk a little bit about the increase in containment. So fires typically will increase. Sometimes they even decrease as we go through the span of a fire. But you heard from operations, the majority of this fire is looking really good. They put a lot of hard work in a lot of pieces of this fire. So they're pretty confident that the majority of this fire is still looking good. But you heard about the weather. We could get spots. We could have holdover spots from when this thing made runs a week ago. This has happened to us before. This is something that happens during lightning events. You'll have a holdover for a week or 2 weeks afterwards. That's what we're really looking out for right now.
We have the resources, I believe, in the right places. We have the right people preparing the plan to tackle this, and we see success on the horizon. So hold on, stay with us. We'll continue these meetings and keep the good questions coming in. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate that. And yeah, do keep those questions coming in through that email address. We'll get those answered for you. Speaking of that topic, we're going to go into questions and answers right now. Most and the majority of the questions that came in through email are for the forest. And for that, we're going to bring back up your Forest Supervisor, Dean Gould.
Okay, I got a good list of questions here. Let's get started. Let's see, the first one. What are your plans to address the abundance of logs, duff buildup, and shrubs that are littering the forest floor in Blue Canyon? Blue Canyon, that's not currently in the fire footprint, certainly an area of significant interest to us. Yes, it does have that buildup that was described. We are already scheduled to be doing a pretty significant prescribed burn project in there this fall, so that's already in the works. That's a good start. Also, as part of our overall approach to fuel reduction, we are going to be having some increased discussions with CAL FIRE as far as good neighbor agreement, where we can share resources to see if we can't really get a much bigger jump on that this fall. That said, as you can likely appreciate, as a result of this incident, our program of work it's gonna have to shift compared to what we already had planned for fiscal year 26. Now, with all the timber that's going to need to be salvaged, that really changes things for us. We're going to need to pivot and really focus on getting that timber out in a timely manner. So, as I mentioned previously, there is going to be a significant amount of timber production going on the forest, primarily as a result of the salvage logging. So that will really utilize a significant amount of our resources, personnel, getting that work done. Let's see. Next question. Can you project whether Dinky cabin leaseholders might be able to access their cabins for actual use in early October? Not just a short 12 or 24-hour window. And then there's a couple follow-up questions to that. They are separate, but they're certainly related. When do you expect to open up Dinky Road and Dinky Creek Campground? Well, first, Dinky Creek Campground is closed for the season. We know that. The store, we're in continued discussion with them. They may or may not reopen a bit for the rest of the season. We'll see about that. But do realize that this area that we're talking about, that is where the majority of the fire activity still remains. And so this is going to be some of the areas where it's going to be hardest and probably take a little bit longer than most of the rest of the footprint for us to get access for folks to, especially to stay in, not just go in to button things up or get vehicles or items out. But we will certainly be staying in touch with folks. The best thing you can do, and this is the third part of the question, just wondering when roads will be reopened or open back up, when I can apply for a permit to enter the evacuation area to retrieve my travel trailer. All right, so what you really need to do, the best thing to do to get a jump start on that, there's a form called that's 7700, just a standard form that we have. But what it will do, it will allow you to gain access, and it'll be in a controlled manner. We'll likely take a group in and so forth. And this is for that first part, just to either button things up or get things back out. But you would need to contact the High Sierra Ranger District, either the front desk there or the district ranger, Kim Serini Wilson. And I can give her email address real quick. I suspect most of you know her, have met her. Kim.Sorini, Sorini, at usda.gov. And she will assist you in completing that 7700 and keeping you informed as to when we will be able to get folks back in there. Let's see. is there a U.S. Forest Service contact number or email we can sign up with so we can keep abreast and advocate? Well, thank you for that. That's pleasant to see somebody leaning forward and wanting to be part of the solution. So thank you for that question. As far as keeping abreast, yes, and we'll put this on the screen next time because it is kind of long, but I'll read it for right now. But to get on the list on the keep abreast part, it's sm.fs.sierra.nf info at USDA.gov. And again, sm.fs.sierra.nf info at USDA.gov. And that would be the place to, help keep informed on the latest. Also, our Facebook site, of course, is getting quite a bit posted to it as well. And as far as and being an advocate goes, again, I particularly appreciate that. Something, and it's entirely up to the individual. Your elected official, that's why you've elected them. They need to hear your opinions on how things are being done. And if you want to be an advocate, certainly they would be interested in hearing from you. Also, we happen to have a very robust volunteer program on the Sierra. And I can't imagine a better bonding experience, collaborative experience with the community than to be part of the volunteer program as we are recovering, from this Garnet fire. So if you're interested in that, we can certainly accommodate you and any interest you may have, any type of volunteer work you might be interested in. We can certainly find something suitable for you, something you would find very rewarding. 559-297-0706. That's our front desk number, and we'll definitely get your information and get back to you on that. So again, thank you in advance for your interest. When will the water reservoirs, including Black Rock, be open to the public? Well, Black Rock in particular, that's going to be a bit. There was significant bridge damage there, and those are going to have to be replaced before we get access back into the area. So we'll definitely be keeping folks posted in those by those means I just mentioned, and we will let you know as soon as there is access. But that is probably going to be one of the longer lead items. We are working with PG&E on that. We are looking at options. Many people drop their travel trailers in the forest prior to the closure and evacuations in preparation for the beginning of deer hunting season. What do we do if we had a travel trailer in the burn area off McKinley Grove Road? Is there anyone we should contact? Absolutely. Once again, go back to my previous response, either the High Sierra Ranger District front desk or Ranger Kim Serini Wilson, kim.serini, SORINI, at USDA.gov. And that is all the questions I had. I did want to make one more comment, and that is, you heard Lieutenant Hamilton, talk about the likely upcoming changing status and the evacuations and so forth. And again, I mentioned this previously, but we likely have different folks on every night. We will be keeping up with that as well. We'll be coordinating very closely with the Sheriff's Office and the incident management team. And as things are opened back up by the county, and there is no reason to keep them closed from an incident perspective, we absolutely will be opening up those as well. That revised forest, that partial closure order, that did go into effect today. Again, that was for 1 week, and that was just to mirror as closely as we could the county closure. And I will update that on a day-to-day basis if need be in order to keep up with what the county is reopening and is in concert with the incident. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor. Appreciate that. And that concludes our meeting for this evening. Thank you all for joining us. For information, keep a look at on INCIWeb, as always, our Facebook account for the Sierra National Forest and the YouTube page. You'll see all the different videos that we post on there. We'll see you guys again tomorrow night, 5:30. I'll see you then.